Hi, I'm Ellen Eatough, founder of Ecstatica.com and producer of the 4 Keys to Sexual Ecstasy Lovemaking Enhancement System and the Love Unbound Music for Lovemaking infused with auditory pheromones. And today I'd like to discuss with you how I work with private clients. Now, my view is that most people are really doing the best they can. However, when the best really is ineffective or even self-sabotaging, it's usually because patterns and sort of knee-jerk triggered responses that originate in our past, usually our early childhood, are keeping us from being more effective and appropriately responsive in the moment. Now, recent science has shown that markers resulting from wounding or trauma actually show up on our DNA, and positive or negative life experiences are passed down genetically through our offspring for as many as 6 generations. So our patterned or ingrained responses, from the past, maybe our own past or even recent ancestors. And I've noticed that we have a particular sequence of responses to an experience. 1 is we have the experience, 2, we draw 1 or more conclusions from the experience, and then 3, we make a decision going forward. Now, this usually happens very quickly and on a rather unconscious basis, but when we excavate to find out the source of a particular issue or problem, here's the kind of thing we discover. I have a client named Joanne. I'll call her as a pseudonym just to protect her identity, and she was having a lot of problems with attracting the wrong kinds of partners and not having successful interchanges with partners due to her inability to really communicate her truth. And when we dug deep, we found that when she was about 3 or 4 years old, her family was having a rather large party in their home. And when her favorite uncle arrived, she was so excited to see him, and she ran up to greet him and hug him and was all excited, telling him about all the fun things that were happening and about what was going on in her life. And he was responsive, but suddenly he got called to the phone for an important call. And in those days, he was tethered to the landline, which was in that room with a lot going on, a lot of chaos. And Joanne, not realizing what was happening, just kept at him, trying to get his attention. And suddenly he just said, "Shut up, I'm on a really important call." That was her experience. So then she drew 2 conclusions. 1 is, when I am loving and enthusiastic and sharing what's true for me, I get shut down. Or, I'm not important. And number 2 was, what I have to say is not as important as what somebody else has to say, even some stranger on the other end of the phone line. So those are her conclusions. Then number 3, she made a decision. Her decision was, going forward, that she wouldn't express herself fully, that she would, kind of put a lid on what she really wanted to say. So when I work with private clients, I don't do conventional talk therapy. Why? Because although it can have its value, talk therapy primarily works through the cognitive mind. And these kinds of experiences, whether they are seemingly as benign as what happened to Joanne or as obviously traumatic as, rape or molestation or incest, these experiences go in through our physical and our emotional systems. And so the physical and emotional, I feel, is the most direct and rapid route to real transformations. And so what we do is we kind of excavate. We go in to find the weeds and pull them out by the roots so that we can let the garden flourish, so your physical and emotional self and your relationship dynamics can become healthy and have more options when you're relating to other people, and you can have more healthy responses. So the kinds of methods that I use are things like eye movement and breath and color and somatic awareness and regression. Now, these are only possible remedies. I would need to talk with you personally to find out your particular situation and your hopes and dreams and challenges, and to determine if I can be helpful to you, and if so, how I would do that. And this is why I offer a free ecstatic love life strategy session over the phone. During this session, we develop together crystal clear goals for achieving what you want. We help you create a next step action plan for making it happen. You'll get greater personal awareness and uncover any hidden challenges that may be holding you back or stopping you altogether. And by the end of the session, you'll leave more energized and motivated for achieving your goals than you were beforehand. Now, my intention is for you to get true benefit from the strategy session alone. And you may be wondering if you can benefit from this sort of thing if you're in a relationship and your partner isn't really interested, or you can't get him or her engaged in really creating change or creating a new dynamic in your relationship. But don't worry, because one person absolutely can transform a relationship. You know, when any part of a system shifts, the whole thing shifts. And for example, if one person is always pushing, the other one only has two options. That's to push back or to kind of fall back or recede. But if the first person stops pushing, then a whole new dance can happen. So whenever one person shifts, it actually causes the relationship to shift also, often if it's positive, in a positive upward spiral. So definitely one person can make a huge shift in a relationship. So if any of this resonates with you personally, I'd like to invite you to take the next step and apply for a free ecstatic love life strategy session. And the way to do that is simply click the link below, and that'll take you to the application. So I look forward to talking with you soon.